Borderlands 3 moves more than 5 million copies in its first 5 days. This is from Robert Ramsey over at Push Square. It says, it's safe to say that Borderlands 3 has been a hit. Publisher 2K has revealed that the looter shooter sold more than 5 million copies over its first 5 days on the market, making it the fastest selling release in the company's history, an impressive result. Interestingly, 2K says that over 70% of those sales were digital. Obviously, that's taking PC numbers into account, but it's still a significant statistic. As for how Borderlands 3 stacks up to its predecessors, Borderlands 2 currently sits at a crazy 20 million units or thereabouts. So this latest installment still has a lot of catching up to do. That said, if Borderlands 3 can remain popular for as long as Borderlands 2 has, then it's in with a chance. So Roy Speedrun says, that's insane to me that Borderlands 3 sold better than, say, NBA 2K. Yeah, that's super impressive. Now, okay, they did say in the company's history. I thought I saw elsewhere where it was just in this franchise's history. Let me double check some numbers here. Double checking. Wait, did they link to the actual source here? No, they didn't. Unless it's at the bottom of the article. I should have done more research here. All right, let's look this up, because I thought I saw elsewhere where it just said it was the fastest selling game in the franchise. Here we go. Borderlands 3 crosses 5 million sold. This is Samuel Tolbert. Feel like that would be a no-brainer, though. Yeah, that's a good point. It wouldn't really be able to. All right, let's all right, I can't find it, but yes, if it's sold, if this is the fastest selling game in the franchise, I mean, in 2K's history, the fact that this sold better than any NBA 2K game, I think it is pretty wild. This is a terrible article. That article had absolutely fucking nothing. Yep, Borderlands 3 is 2K's fastest selling game ever. This is from Alicia Judge over at IGN. All right, so confirm that. Sorry, I missaw something. Anyway, yeah, that's crazy. That it outsold NBA games. Damn. Which, to be fair, I don't know how much this impacts it. And I don't want to make an argument to say like, oh, well, I think NBA probably sells faster. But NBA over the last few years, at least, has had a lot of like split releases where it's like, hey, we'll release to certain versions of it on this day, and then a few days later we'll release this version of it. So they've had some split focus on their releases as well that I think need to be taken into account. But yeah, Borderlands 3, obviously everyone knew like this game is going to be huge. People have been hyped about this game for years, and I feel like Borderlands 3 conversation has dominated news cycles. It's pretty much, if Borderlands 3 news comes out, it has been the lead over everything except for maybe Death Stranding. In terms of media coverage, I think Death Stranding probably stops the presses more than Borderlands has, but Borderlands is not very far behind it in that sense. A couple of interesting things to note here. Number one, great job on the Epic boycott, guys. You really slowed down the sales there. Really fucking showed 2K who was boss. Like, oh man, oh, we're not going to buy this game on the Epic Game Store. We're going to wait for it to come to Steam. Like, yeah, okay. I'm sure that some of you exist out there, but right here, 2K, Gearbox, Randy Pitchford, these people don't give a shit, all right? Continue to throw your little tantrums in the corner over there, and they're just going to continue to make money hand over fist. Roy Speedrun says, Borderlands has been my little brother's favorite game series since the beginning. Their fan base is insane. Yeah, I've never really been like super into it. I played Borderlands 2 on both Vita, and then I went back and played it on PC. And I'm probably going to play Borderlands 3 at some point, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of games that like try to be funny. generally. And while I thought the shooting and the looting was fun, the writing just never really connected with me. And I think that a lot of people really get into like the lore and the story and the characters in Borderlands, and that was just never something that I attached myself to. Roy Speedrun says, and I really want to play it, just don't want to shell out the $60 right now. That's where I am, man. There's so much good stuff that I'm looking forward to coming out this year that I'm like, I'll probably just wait for Borderlands to be on sale. Anyway, another interesting thing here is the 70% of their sales being digital. And we're just kind of in this crazy place right now with game sales. And I feel like even back when like we were doing the Player 3 podcast, which was a couple years ago, you know, we were like, oh man, we're probably pretty far from it, but I can see a day where, you know, it's 50-50. Like, oh man, we're 50% of sales will be digital sales. And here we are, where like really the only way to purchase this game, I mean, really the only way to purchase this game on PC is digitally. But there's so many perks to purchasing a game digitally now, especially a game that's split screen like this, where you're buying it for a multi-console home for people who game share. You know, there's that benefit where I think cooperative games kind of get a little boost in digital sales because you can game share them and play them with your buddies. But also just, I don't have to fucking leave my house and go to a 9:00 release and come back and have it load. Like, it just unlocks when it's ready to unlock. So, and I think that we're going to slowly work our way. Like, I don't think physical sales are going anywhere in terms of, we're not going to see a day anytime soon. And I'll probably eat these words where it's like, oh man, major publishers are really backing out of selling physical because it's just not, they're just not moving units. But I think in the next generation, it's going to become so much more convenient. I think there's going to be a lot of foundational things that have been sorted out with digital sales that will be addressed in the next generation. That a lot of companies are just going to be like, that we're going to start to see like 85% of sales coming from the digital side. Roy Speedrun says, my brother let me borrow Astral Chain, though. Stoked to start that. Dude, Astral Chain, fucking fun. All right. I need to get back into it, but I've played like the first 6 or 7 hours of it, and it's a blast. Roy Speedrun also says, I'm all for digital. I've never bought a physical game on PC. I'm all digital for the most part now. The only thing I buy physical games on is Switch. And that's for a couple reasons. Number one, there's no game sharing on Switch, and I game share on PlayStation and Xbox. But the second reason is I will buy digitally anything that isn't like a Switch exclusive. So, and the reason for that is I worked at GameStop long enough to know Nintendo exclusive games hold their trade-in value forever. Like, I'm sure I can probably still go trade in Astral Chain after a few weeks of it being out and still get like $25 to $30 for it. And that's just not the way that those games generally work. You know, you buy any other big game and within a month you're getting, you know, $18 for it in trade. You can probably still trade in Smash Brothers, which has been out for what, almost a year at this point. I bet the trade value on Smash is still $25. Roy Speedrun says, I traded in Xenoblade just a few months ago for like $37. Let's look up let's look up Smash Brothers trade-in value right now on GameStop.com. Smash Brothers Ultimate, here we go. So if you have a pro card, you can still trade in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which has been out for almost a year, for $38.50. And if you're not a pro member, you get $35 for it. So that's the reason I buy Nintendo games physically, because those games just hold their value. But yeah, I've moved all digital everywhere else. This idea of will Borderlands 3 pass other Borderlands franchises in terms of most sold? They talk about the 20 million for Borderlands 2. I think that's no question. I don't think it's even going to be close. Borderlands 3 is definitely going to pass Borderlands 2, and I think for a couple reasons. Number one, as they continue to lean into the game as service and introduce new events, new DLC, new free content, it's going to keep the player base engaged, and people are going to have more reason as time moves on to jump into it at another point. So I think that's one reason. And the second reason is I've already seen a lot of people who are like, man, I'm holding out for the PS5 and the next Xbox version of the game. You know, people who have kind of put themselves on a buying freeze because they know a lot of these games are going to get re-released on the next console. And if it's anything like the PS4, Xbox One generation, a lot of pretty much the only games you're going to be able to play for the first few months are just re-releases and remasters of games that released on the prior console. So I think you've got a lot of people maybe subscribing to that as well that are just like, I'm going to hold off on all my new game sales. I got plenty of backlog for the PS4, Xbox One, and then in the lull at the beginning of the next generation, I'll jump back into these games at the end of the generation that I've missed. So I think that we're easily going to pass the 20 million units sold for Borderlands 2. I just don't think it's a question. Plus, we're probably going to sell another 5 million units during the holiday season. So you're right there halfway to it, and the calendar year isn't even up yet. Roy Speedrun says, yeah, really only time I go to GameStop is when I have Nintendo games to trade. Dude, I went to GameStop this weekend with my wife to pick up Link's Awakening for her because she's been wanting to play it. She's been like real excited about the trailers coming out. And so we're at the counter, and I know I tell these GameStop stories all the time, and one day I'll learn to not go in there anymore. I should have bought the game from Walmart. Walmart's doing something with Nintendo games now where everything that they sell is basically $10 cheaper. And so you can go buy Link's Awakening right now from Walmart for $50 rather than $60. But anyway, so I went into GameStop because I was like, man, I don't know if the purple Xbox controllers, like the Fortnite controllers, have come out yet, but I really, really wanted one. So took Lauren to go pick up her game, and we're standing at the register. And while I'm at the register checking out, the lady at the counter says, hey, did you get a chance to check out our ad? We've got a Pro Day sale going on right now. And I'm like, okay, let's think logically here for a second. I'm at the counter. I have this product in my hand that I am about to buy. You are currently ringing it up. I've put in my phone number for my power-up card. Do you think that I'm going to look at this ad and be like, hold the phone here, I'm going to continue shopping? Like, if you really want me to see the ad that's going on, like, hit me up when I first walk through the door. Like, hey, just so you know, it's a Pro Day. It's our Pro Day sale. Here's our ad. Check it out. Feel free to browse. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't do it when I'm standing there. Then she gives me the whole rigmarole about updating my card, tells me about all the savings that I've missed, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I hear you, but I'm still not interested. Then she wants me to pre-order. She's like, I've got two of the purple Xbox controllers on the way. They'll be here on Monday. Do you want to go ahead and pre-order one? And I was like, nah, not really. I'll just order it. And she's like, but then you can come pick it up here. I was like, or I can stay at my house and have a man driving a big brown truck bring it to me. And so I didn't end up ordering it Saturday. I ordered it yesterday, so it won't be here till tomorrow. But I was just like, and it's just, I don't need the fucking Fifth Degree or whatever it's called. Like, I don't need to be interrogated every time I go into your store, man. Like, I clearly know what I'm here for. Just let me get what I'm here for. Anyway, Roy Speedrun says, did you play the Modern Warfare beta at all? I did not. I played the shit out of the alpha, and I meant to jump into the beta this weekend, but there was just so much football to watch, guys. My wife hates me right now. I've been watching so much football, college and pro. And there's a commercial that plays on NBC that's like, there's no such thing as too much football. And my wife's like hell there isn't. We experienced it this weekend. So yeah, I didn't jump into a Modern Warfare beta. I didn't really play anything this weekend, honestly. Maybe a little Overwatch. Yo, Durka. How's it going, my friend? I'm doing well. It's good to see you in here. Yeah, we're just running through this crazy hectic day worth of news. Seriously, there is a shitload going on. And there's going to be even more going on tomorrow between the Inside Xbox and the PlayStation thing, the State of Play. So, yep, Borderlands, 5 million. I haven't played it yet, but I know I will.